friends, I'm Scott. I'm going to show you how to customize your terminal. This is super important. If you've got Windows 10 or 11, you want to make sure that you install the Windows terminal. You can install this from GitHub releases, or you can install it from the Windows Store. By default, I've got my terminal set up to use PowerShell as my shell. There's a difference between the terminal and the shell. It's important to know that. The terminal is this thing up here that paints that square, and the shell is the thing that gives you your prompt down here at the bottom. So you can use DOS or PowerShell or Bash or whatever makes you happy. But the Windows terminal will detect all of those things on your machine. As you can see right here, I've actually got 7 different potential shells set up, from the classic Windows PowerShell to the new cross-platform PowerShell 7. I've also got Ubuntu. And then I can see that the Windows terminal has auto-detected the command prompt that is included with Visual Studio 2022. And I've even got the Azure Cloud Shell. So if I need a Bash or PowerShell shell in the cloud, I can get it directly from here as well. All of this is completely configurable. That's important to note. Now, I think that you should spend some time configuring your terminal and making it your own. So I'm going to click here under Settings. I'm going to go over here to the defaults. I want to point out under Appearance, you can set your fonts, you can set your color scheme exactly the way that you want. You can set it as a default, and it'll cascade down to the other ones. So you see that I've picked a variant of a Cascadia Cove Nerd font. You can go to nerdfonts.com and get those. And then I've picked my default color scheme. And then those will cascade down to settings like this. So here's my PowerShell one. You'll notice that I've got my command line for loading up that particular shell. And then I've got additional settings that I can dig into. And in fact, I like having a little watermark. So I put an image actually on my terminal. You can have a terminal background that looks like whatever makes you happy. I'll show you what that would look like with a different shell. So I'm going to pick Ubuntu, and I'm going to open that up in a different tab. And you'll notice that down here in the corner, I've got the Ubuntu logo in the lower right corner. That tells me that I'm running Ubuntu. And then here you can see I've got PowerShell with the PowerShell logo from our friends at PowerShell Magazine. Now, you can see I've got 2 tabs. I can switch back and forth. But not only can I have multiple tabs, I can also do split screen. And I can do that in a couple of different ways. I can click on one of the shells from my profile list here, and I can hold down Alt. So I'm going to press Alt with my left thumb, and I'm going to hit Alt-click on Ubuntu. And you'll see right off the bat, it's going to split open. So now I've got PowerShell and Windows on the left, Ubuntu on the right. And then I'm going to hit Control-W. Control-W typically closes a window or a tab in a browser. And I really like that hotkey, so I have Control-T for tab and Control-W to close it. That's configurable. You don't get that by default. You want to hit Settings, and then you're going to go over to Actions. And you can notice here, I've actually put in a hotkey to close that pane. So just a little bit of effort up front has made a really nice experience for me here in the Windows terminal. Set it up the way that I wanted it. You can actually see all of the different hotkeys. Each of those is stored inside of this JSON file. So I can come down here and click Open JSON File. I've configured Visual Studio Code to be my default JSON editor. So I can do it in the GUI, or I can do it in Visual Studio Code. And let's go ahead and look for my Control-W. There it is right there, close pane, Control-W. That is my settings. And then I put that up in a GitHub gist. I use a GitHub gist as a place to store those settings. That's really nice and flexible. So that way I can have my settings.json, which is the settings file for my Windows terminal, stored in one place. And then I bring it down on each of my computers and have an experience that's super reliable. A little bit of effort up front will get you set up nicely. Take a look at the rest of the videos that we're going to do. I'm going to show one soon on setting up Oh My Posh, which set up this lovely prompt right here. See you soon.